Chapter 3, Fiber to Fabric. There are large varieties of cloth material. Some clothes or fabrics are cotton, while some are synthetic. Bed sheets, blankets, curtain, tablecloth, towel, and dusters are made of different kind of fabrics. Even the school bags are made of different kind of fabrics. Activity 1 asks you to visit a nearby tailoring shop. Try to collect the leftover cuttings of the fabrics after stitching. Try to label some fabrics as cotton, silk, wool, or synthetic. Any kind of fabric you can find there. When you look at any of them, it seems like a continuous piece. But what are the different fabrics made up of? This whole chapter is about this question only. How are fabrics made? You wear shirts, pants, even tops, kurtis, saris, या घर पे बेडशीट होगा, पर्दे होंगे. These all are the products in a usable form which are made from different kind of fabrics. मतलब शर्ट बनने के पहले वो एक कई मीटर का लंबा कपड़ा होता है जो एक जगह लपेट के रखा होता है. उसी कपड़े को फैब्रिक कहते हैं जब तक वो शर्ट नहीं बनता. मतलब उस नॉर्मल कपड़े को जब उसको काट के शर्ट बनाओ, पैंट बनाओ, कुछ भी बनाओ, बनने के पहले उसको एक नॉर्मल टर्म में फैब्रिक कहते हैं. वो किसी भी टाइप का फैब्रिक हो सकता है, कॉटन, सिंथेटिक, वुल, वो होता है फैब्रिक. Now activity 2 asks you to select a cotton fabric and try to find a loose thread at one of the edges and pull it out. By this we find that a fabric is made up of yarns arranged together. Now the question is, what are yarns made up of? yarn का मतलब हुआ कच्चा धागा. जो सुई और धागे वाला धागा होता है ना, जो घर में होता है, वही वाला धागा, उसको यार्न कहते हैं. Activity 3 asks you to take that yarn from piece of cotton and place it on the table. Press one end of the yarn with your thumb and scratch the other end of yarn along with its length with your nail. Yarn at this end splits up into thin strands. This is similar when you try to thread a needle. मतलब जब एक सुई में धागे को डालने की कोशिश करते हैं तो धागे का वो एंड जो हम सुई में घुसाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कई बार वो थोड़ा फैल जाता है. मतलब उस छोटे से होल में वो घुस नहीं पाता, कई उसके परतें निकल जाती हैं. वो होता है स्ट्रैंड. Those thin strands of thread that we see are made up of still thinner strands called fibers. So fabrics are made up of yarns and yarns are further made up of fibers. Now the question is, where do these fibers come from? Fibers are some fabrics such as cotton, jute, silk, and wool. These are obtained from plants and animals. These are called natural fibers. Means natural fibers are those which are obtained from natural form, from plants or animals. Cotton and jute are obtained from plants. Wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. Wool is obtained from fleece of sheep or goat, or even hair of rabbits, yak, or camels. On the other hand, silk fiber is drawn from the cocoon of silkworm. But from last 100 years or so, fibers are also made of chemical substances which are not obtained from plants or animal sources. So these are called synthetic fibers. These are not natural. For example, polyester, nylon, acrylic. Polyesters are used in making carpets, ropes, wires, or fishing nets. Nylon can be used for making parachutes, tents, raincoats, or seat belts. And while acrylic can be used, it is somewhat similar like wool. So it can be used in making socks, shawls, or tracksuits. Cotton fibers come from cotton plants, which are grown in fields. Cotton plants are usually grown at places which have black soil and warm climate. The fruits of the cotton plant, which are called cotton balls, are about the size of a lemon. After maturing, these balls burst open and seeds covered with cotton fibers can be seen. A cotton field that is ready for picking looks like a field covered with snow. From these balls, cotton is usually picked by hand. Fibers are then separated from seeds by combing. This process is called ginning of cotton. Traditionally, it used to be done by hand. These days, machines are also used for ginning. Jute fiber. It is obtained from the stem of jute plants. It is cultivated during rainy season in India, mainly grown in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. The stems of harvested plants are immersed in water for a few days. Then the stem rot and fibers are separated by hand. To make fabrics, all these fibers are first converted into yarn, as we have already seen. The process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. In this process, fibers form a mass of cotton wool and are drawn out and twisted. This brings the fibers together to form a yarn. A simple device used for spinning is hand spindle, also called as takli, which looks like this. Another hand-operated device used for spinning is charkha. The use of charkha was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi as a part of independence movement. He encouraged people to wear clothes made of homespun yarn. But on a large scale, spinning is done with the help of machines. After spinning, yarns are used for making fabrics. Yarn to fabrics. There are many ways by which fabrics are made from yarns. Two of the main processes are weaving and knitting. Weaving is a process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric called weaving. In knitting, a single yarn is used to make a piece of fabric. Difference should be clear here. While weaving, we were using two sets of yarn to make a single fabric. And in knitting, we are using single set of yarn, while making a fabric. निटिंग में ये मतलब समझ लो कि एक ही धागे से बन रहा और वो एक धागा खुल गया तो आपका पूरा कपड़ा पूरा का पूरा गायब, खुल जाएगा पूरा. Knitting is done by hand and also with machines. Weaving and knitting are used for making different kind of fabrics. This is a plant called flax, which was used in ancient Egypt with cotton for making any kind of cloth that at that time was prevalent. Keywords given at the end of the chapter are cotton wool. So what is cotton wool? When you see this word, what pops up to your mind? Cotton wool grown in fields. Fruits are called cotton balls, which are about the size of lemon. When you look at these keywords now, just some definition or some kind of something should come in your mind. That's straight your answer. When you look at the word fabric, what comes to your mind before becoming a final product? As shirt, bed sheet, or any cloth, they are all just fabrics. Fiber, cotton, wool, silk, nylon, polyester, these are all. Knitting, yarns are converted into fabrics by knitting. Spinning, process of making yarn from fibers. Weaving, yarn to fabrics. And what is yarn then? yarn मतलब वो कच्चा धागा जो था. So long continuous length of interlocked fiber. Now here is the summary which will come after keywords. Fabrics are made from yarns, which in turn are made from fibers. Fibers are either natural or synthetic. Fibers like cotton, jute are obtained from plants. Fabrics from yarn is made from weaving and knitting. This is just a summary for whole of the lecture. At last we come to the exercise. Kindly read all these questions and try to attempt. Don't have to write or make notes, or just read and the answer should come to your mind.